Well, I thought with today's interesting weather, it'd be a good chance to talk about a few of the ideas we have in meteorology here. Well, as you can see from the map here, there's a low pressure, right around this area up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And just by looking at the clouds, you can see the whole idea of this whole idea of a counterclockwise rotation with a low pressure system. One thing you notice today, we've had some rain, and it's also pretty warm. Well, really, when you look at the way the wind blows in a low pressure system and the rotation, you really got to look at the geographical spot where this low pressure is. Right now, it's a little bit to the north and to the west of us. So as you get this counterclockwise rotation, it's bringing in this warm air from the south, and we've got a little bit of a southerly breeze today. If you remember back from our talk on air masses, we got the maritime tropical down here in the Gulf of Mexico. And behind the cold front, we've got this continental polar coming down from Canada. Well, remember, we are in the prevailing southwesterlies. So this whole system, as these arrows show here, are moving from the southwest to the northeast. Right now we're in the warm sector. Went out earlier today and went for a run, and it's 46 degrees out and with a little bit of a southerly breeze. That's because right now we're in this warm sector. We have a warm front off into here, and then we have a cold front coming down in this direction here. If you remember, with a front is really a dividing line between air masses, and you're looking for really a dramatic change in temperatures. Well, in the warm sector, especially down this area, we've got temperatures in the 50s, and immediately behind the cold front, we're looking at temperatures in the 20s to the 30s. So as this pushes off to the east and to the north, we'll be wrapping in some of this cold air behind it. Well, the other thing, you got to remember on this is this whole low pressure is rising air. And for clouds to form, you have to have rising air. We talked about a high pressure system. We get a high pressure system out here somewhere. And a high pressure system is sinking air, and it spins clockwise. And the air, as it sinks, will move out into a low pressure. This is a pretty good low pressure system today. When I was out running today, looked out into the south, you could see the clouds building, and especially along this cold front. I also looked at the weather map. There's a little bit of an occluded front going on up here, and if you remember, from occluded front is when a cold front overtakes a warm front. This is a great example of a mid-latitude wave or a mid-latitude cyclone. And this type of mid-latitude wave, mid-latitude cyclone, they are really the major weather producers as these move across the continental U.S. Now later this week, they're talking about temperatures starting to drop. Well, as you can see, as the cold front pushes its way through, we're going to get some colder temperatures. But there's a major storm brewing out in the Pacific, or out in the western part of the United States. We should probably put it that way. So we'll have to follow that in class as we go along here. One of the things you need to remember also that warm air can hold more moisture, and definitely you can tell. Yesterday on my rain gauge I measured 6/10 of an inch of rain. That's because of the whole idea that warm air can really take in that moisture, and a lot of the moisture is getting picked up from Lake Michigan. The temperatures over the water are greater than land. We talked about that whole idea of a lake effect. Behind it, much cooler weather. Again, that whole idea of continentality. The land heats up, cools down quicker than water. Just thought I'd take this few moments here and kind of put this out there for a little bit of review. It's pretty good at review of everything we've been talking about. You can also talk about the adiabatic cooling. As air rises, it cools. Once it gets to the dew point, you're going to get cloud formation and possible precipitation. In fact, the clouds today were pretty much nimble stratus, not very high. Just you could tell they were your typical gray, dreary rain clouds. So that's about it for this one, and we'll catch you in class.